you and your company have been at the center of a very high-profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
At all?
Wait, what? Actually, not at all?
At all.
Oh, shit! No way! Oh, man, he's salty.
You have to finish up your war. You have to finish it up. You got to get it done.
Did he mean Israel should be able to continue to try and eliminate all of
forces from the
I'm sure you all know Ben Shapiro's position on Israel. You could probably look up some of his old tweets. It's Israelis like to build homes and Arabs like to bomb and live in sewage, I believe was his words exactly. So you know what his position most likely is on this, let's just say, current ethnic cleansing and genocide. But I am curious to hear what happened in regards to Candace Owens' departure, of which he has issued, I believe, a public statement on camera, simply in writing.
Gaza Strip in 2005. Hamas took control. They spent the last 20 years turning it into a giant terror base. From the Israeli perspective, my assumption is that what they are figuring is degrade Hamas's military capacity such that they cannot be an offensive threat to the state of Israel, and then try to enact some sort of military control.
I mean, it's still just the tail end, but I can't let that one slide. That's utterly absurd, right? I mean, in terms of the disproportionate amount of power between the imbalance that's taking place here, there's technology provided directly from the United States to prevent Hamas from firing successful missiles into Israel on a regular basis, the Iron Dome, for example, and that technology. You see that the official account of Israel has posted about how Israel's ranked, I believe, 5th, for like levels of happiness in the world and stuff, and they were celebrating all that kind of thing. That's not the case with Palestine and Palestinians, especially people who are living in both the West Bank and Gaza. They are not reporting incredibly high rates of like happiness and satisfaction and stuff like that because they're being occupied and bombed and starved, right?
Of the area sufficient to prevent any future threat from arising from that area. I'm sure that Israel would love to hand the area over to Egypt. Egypt says no. Egypt doesn't want any part of it. Israel would love to hand it over to Jordan. Jordan says no. Jordan doesn't want any part of it. Israel's tried to hand it over to the Saudis, to the UAE, to the United States, to literally anyone. No one wants to run that area specifically because the population is already quite radicalized and was radicalized before October 7th. And so what you're probably...
Again, collective punishment, right? It's the population. And he's not even saying Hamas anymore. It's well, a lot of people there. They're radicalized. They're Hamas in waiting. Hamas in training, as we say.
Going to end up with, and I said this, I think, the first time I appeared on the show, which was shortly after October 7th in this context.
I'll be honest, I mean, at this point, if you watch your entire family get blown up or starved to death, I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's got to be a radicalizing moment. I would imagine so. What
you're probably going to end up with is some form of joint military rule in the Gaza Strip in which Israel has the intelligence capacity to go in and conduct raids in terror hotbeds the same way that they do right now, for example, in the West Bank, Judea and Samaria, places like Jenin, places like Nablus. The IDF is constantly attempting to go in and root out terror cells in these particular areas. One of the big flaws that led to October 7th was the fact that Israel had no forces on the ground and no actual intelligence capability inside the Gaza Strip.
One of the consequences of this war has been a lot of very high passions on both sides, a lot of angry disagreements. You and your company have been at the center of a very high-profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
At all?
Wait, what? Actually, not at all?
At all.
Oh, shit! No way! Oh, man, he's salty. Damn. Wow. Okay. So you'll just go on and on and on. Like almost half of this entire interview is just about how basically Palestinians should be able to be just bombed to death completely and justifiably because they're brutal. They're terrorists. They're terrorists in waiting. That yeah. But hey, one of your employees is no longer working for your company. Can you talk about that? No. Not at all. We're not touching that topic. No. Little rich that you would bring that up. Do you think it's totally appropriate, really, to just discuss on a large platform or in front of a lot of people? I don't know.
You can't give me insight into why she departed?
No hints, no nothing. I'm not going to speak to this.
Can I ask?
Whoa. He did, like, he legitimately. All right, so I'm not a body language expert, right? And I simply can't afford to hire one. Plus, it's just nonsense make-believe, so it's not a real thing. But if I was a body language, I'm an empath, actually. Yeah, I'm empath Lance, so I do have that power. So I could use my empath powers now to truly read what's going on. He's fucking pissed. Holy shit. And so quick too. Was this something that they discussed beforehand? I'm going to assume so. Or at least handlers. I'm guessing handlers on one end was like, yes. So just so we're clear, Ben is completely fine to talk about how Arabs and Palestinians are subhuman monsters who should be justifiably starved to death. That's totally fine. You can talk about that for I don't know 45 minutes to an hour if you want. But we just want to touch on the Candace Owens subject. If we could just avoid bringing that up in any way, shape, or form. We're just that we prefer that to stay off bounds. So, and this is live TV, so you kind of caught him in an awkward moment here, where.
Why?
I mean, you can ask.
No, I'm not. You can ask why you don't want to say anything.
Again, you can ask.
I'm only curious because I know what a staunch defender of free speech you are, and it would surprise me if it had been someone's opinions that would make you want to part company with them, however contentious.
I mean, suffice it to say, the only thing I will say is what I've said all along with regard to Candace or with regard to any of our other hosts. I am not in hiring and firing position with the Daily Wire. I'm a co-founder of the Daily Wire. I'm a co-owner of the Daily Wire. I'm not actually in management. Jeremy Boring and Caleb Robinson are in management positions with regard to Candace or anyone else. And as far as the free speech situation, what I will say is that no company has the obligation to literally pay anyone.
So what? I think that's as close as you can get to confirmation, right? Just kind of a little bit of a pivot on the whole free speech angle, you know? Because yeah, he's got some strong quotes on this stuff. Let me see if I can pull this one up. Ben Shapiro, and I quote, "Freedom of speech and thought matters, especially when it is the speech and thought with which we disagree. The moment the majority decides to destroy people for engaging in thought it dislikes, thought crime becomes a reality. So saith Ben Shapiro."
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
Wire is a publisher. It is not a platform. I've never called for Candace or anyone else for that matter to be banned from YouTube, to be banned from X, to be banned from any.
Ooh, so yeah, you've changed. So yeah, I think they let her go. I think again, neither party wants to be the one to kind of be like, hey, by the way, do you care about free speech? Because I am the one who cares the most about the speech, the want it to be the freest. I want the freedom speech. You know, that's me. That's my brand. So who canceled who? And I'm starting to get a very strong indication that I think, in fact, Ben Shapiro, Jeremy Boring, they canceled Candace Owens. 1984'd her, silenced her.
Platform. That's a different story, obviously, when it comes to any publisher. Any publisher gets to make.
So, yeah, no shit. This is what I've been saying for a very long time. This is what the left has been explaining to every single right-winger who's like, "My freedom of speech, the First Amendment. You can't take the First Amendment away. Yeah, you're canceling us." And it's like, no, what? No, these are publishing companies. Even if it's a social media company, they're still in the business of having a whole bunch of people with whom they publish their content on their behalf. You don't buy the servers. You don't host the videos. You aren't uploading to a computer that you are then allowing people to have access to. You upload to YouTube, and they handle all that. And then they decide whether or not you're allowed to do that or not. Yes, they are the arbiters of speech.
Decisions about what it wishes to purvey and not.
I mean, I'm just not going to labour this, but one more point I would make is it's been reported extensively
on their platforms
that the reason for her departure was because her comments had been perceived by people at the Daily Wire as anti-Semitic.
Again, I'm not going to comment on this, Piers.
I don't know, Ben. You already cracked once, it seems. Suffices to say, there was a certain point at which you were willing to speak about this. If Piers just probed a little bit further, you know?
Okay. Rabbi Shmuley, would you...
Well, I guess that's all we're gonna get. But wow, Ben was not he was not pleased. Yeah, it seemed like his feelings were kind of taking over there. And if it was like, you know, facts, feelings on the feelinometer, I'd say that one goes a lot closer to the feelies. That one was pretty strong in the feelies over there. Intense.
Howdy, everybody. I just wanted to let you know that for the cost of a cup of coffee, you can unlock bonus uncensored episodes of Mind Explosions by going to patreon.com/theserfs. Our videos couldn't exist without your support, and all our content is released early to our Patreon subscribers, as well as a ton of extra content you can't get anywhere else. Please like, subscribe, and thumbs up this channel, and if you're feeling extra perky, share it anywhere you think people would like to see or learn from our videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We first want to give a shout out to everyone who makes this show possible. This program is produced thanks to the generous support of our Patreon supporters: Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbar Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Poppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bomey, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, and Words Greenwood, as well as every other person you see on the screen right now. This show would not be possible without them. And if you want to join these wonderful people who make this entire program possible, simply go to patreon.com/theserfs and you can unlock uncensored and bonus episodes and, you know, help us exist.